Alright, hello lovelies. It's been so freaking long. Let me do my checks right here and we'll get rolling. Alright, it looks good. Alright, I forgot to get music for myself. I get some lo-fi, Zelda. It's been my thing for the whole year pretty much. That's nice. Alright, we're all set. This feels so weird because it's been like a month, so I'm like, okay, trying to get back into talking to a camera. But yeah, things have been really good. That's partly why I haven't live streamed for like a month. I've just been really busy and I've been working at really weird hours. So I've been working at like 2, 3 in the morning just because my sleep schedule got really weird. So I've been really good actually. I have fun hair again as of yesterday. If I'm feeling brave, I'll post a picture in the Discord of what happened to my shower. I've been dyeing my hair since I was like 13, guys. Like I've been bleaching it, dyeing it. I know what I'm doing enough. This freaking dye ruined my shower. It looks like someone was murdered. Like I'm so not exaggerating, just like splatters everywhere. Like so I scrubbed the comment for like an hour and it looks okay. I'm in a rented apartment. My lease ends next year, so I have time, but I was just like, why? So anyway, that's it. I pink. Sarah says, how has your wrist been? Great. No brace even. How awesome is that? Doesn't mean I never use one anymore. It is finicky. I have discovered I just kind of have like meh joints. This one started hurting the same way actually, and I never used this wrist. So I was like, oh, okay. My joints are just baby. It's whatever. I had a vitamin D deficiency and iron, which is very common because I eat fruit and sugar. Like, so I've been getting out in the sun more. I've been working out more actually, and just eating more meat and stuff. So it's been working well. Dave says, can't you just grab with isopropyl alcohol? I can't. There's a lot of things I can do. Face says, murdered. We haven't seen Ricky yet. He's coming back with my coffee soon, so he will be here. In full transparency, we got up at like normal time. He got up at 9. I got up at like 10 or 11 because I stay up till about 2 or 3-ish, and I sleep usually 7-8 hours. We actually went out to a restaurant for the first time since like March. It's all outside. There's only 6 tables out there. It was pretty small, but it was really awesome to like eat a ton of restaurant food outside. Even though there's flies, I didn't care. And we fell asleep for 2 hours. Came back and just knocked out. I had like a food coma. So I was asleep not even 15 minutes ago. So if I seem a little like my voice is a little that's why. Anyway, I think I've talked enough. I will kind of work. This week is going to be a lot of my Townsfolk Kickstarter because that's what I've been working on a lot. And I haven't like made the theme for this month for Patreon yet. It's probably going to be steampunk. That was in the lead last that I saw. Okay, just checking how it looks on yours this side. Because on my side, he looks like chalk white, which I guess is fine. Anyway, he's pretty much done. I'm going to take him, and then I'm also going to pose him in a throne that I made. And that's pretty much going to be that. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Saxus. That is very sweet of you. Woo. I don't even know what to do with that. Did you mean to do $3? I can refund you maybe? If you want 30 rolls, I'll give you 30 rolls. Or throughout the entire live stream, you can be like, I want this color. I want to know this fun fact about you. Go nuts, man. Thank you. Dave says, how do you do the red velvet on that king? It's just a color. So I went to... I picked my color right here. And then I went to fill object. That's not helpful because you don't have my custom UI. Where is fill object normally? I'm not 100% sure. It's probably under color. Yeah, fill object. There you go. Anyway. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Goodness. That's very exciting. You know, it's funny. I bought a 3DS recently because I stopped making them. And they have a lot of games on that I really wanted to play. Like Fire Emblem. Mainly Fire Emblem. There's like 6 Fire Emblem games on there. And it was totally like a guilt purchase. And the new game that I got was $30. So now I don't feel guilty about that. It's like it was just covered. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Anyway, I'm going to roll a dice anyway at least 5 times. Or if you want to do all 30, I don't care. I'm getting the dice up right now. I didn't even bring it up. I didn't even plan for this. Goodness. Yeah, it'd be really fun to animate him. I can upload the base mesh if you like to Discord. I've been playing with that a lot more. Fire Emblem was a nice RPG, right? I first played Fire Emblem Three Houses and I was really obsessed with it. And right now I'm playing through Awakening, which I think it seems like it's the best one on the 3DS. So I hope I don't hate the other ones. I probably won't. I like everything, honestly. I recently watched Legend of Korra, and I liked all 4 seasons. Everyone hates the 2nd season. I didn't care. I like everything. Alright, let's get Zaxxas rolling here. Boom. Roll 1. 11, which is an all topics Q&A. So this is actually kind of like for everyone as well. For the next, let's see, it's 5:07 until 5:15. Let me know if you have any questions, and everyone can answer and ask. Zaxxas says, how about I bank do embarrassing stories for later? Sounds good. I'll give you a roll anyway. But that sounds good. I say that all the time where I'm going to be like, oh, it's an embarrassing story. I'm not going to say it. So now we know. But at the very least, there is all open questions for the next whatever minutes I said, like 10-ish. Alrighty. So the main stuff I want to fix on him is I just want to make sure the trim is really uniform. And I'll probably add some more wrinkles right here. I am going to save a backup version of him really quick. And I did want to show you guys how I did this cape, if I can. Oh yeah, I can, for sure. Sweet. The trim. Awesome. Okay. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you guys the dynamics feature in this, because that's how I made the cape. You guys are going to lose your mind. It's so freaking cool. It's going to move his cape up here. I'm going to just move it around for a second here. You'll see why I'm doing this. So if you go to dynamics and collision volume, it's going to just run a simple simulation. I like to control it with this and check it out. Ooh, how nice is that? If I keep going, it will eventually drag off of him. But yeah, how freaking cool is this? I'll do it again. Let me slow down gravity to 5 and run simulation. But yeah, it's really cool. So that's how I made the cape, in case no one asked, but now you get to know because I thought it was super cool. Let me put him back where he was. There we go. Yeah, Maniac asked, how's your wrist? You're the second person to ask that, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, ooh, no wrist brace. Not even a glove, because I bought this really big sweater. It's great. It's so much better. I actually ended up starting getting wrist pain in my other wrist, and it was the same kind of wrist pain, so then I knew that I just had a vitamin deficiency. I am very pale, because I'm never in the sun, and because I'm pale. But no, I'm pretty much entirely German and Italian. I should be a little darker than I am right now. So I've been spending more time in the sun. I've had a supplement for that, eating more meat, so I'm not so anemic. I pretty much drink water, juice, and eat fruit, all day. I've never been self-conscious about my weight. Those are just the foods that I like. So I've been trying to eat a balanced diet. What do you know? Figuring it out at 23, guys. Sarah asked, what model is your favorite? Ooh, we're going to have a little sidetrack here. So, I started working on a model for fun. Get this. I'm trying to sculpt for fun again. I think this is it. It's not going to be that or the head that I did. This is the Tarrasque. I mean, I haven't released this because I'm not happy with it yet. I'm working on just my own creatures and stuff. I don't know where it is. And it's going to be my favorite model. So it's not even done yet, but it will be my favorite model, I already know. It has to be here. It's somewhere. Whatever. I have no idea where it is. But I can show you guys a spinny of it. Let's see. Sing. Townsfolk. Part 3. Okay, there we go. Let me go to Discord really quick, because I shared it in there. So I'll probably have drawings over it because I was talking about design, so I posted it in Discord. Here we go. I found it. It's really dark, but here we go. So I'm working on. It's going to be a Periton, and it's beautiful. I'm so happy with this already. Like, it's everything that I like. And the reason I post this in Discord is for a design purpose, and I'll just kind of talk through it right here too, because I know a lot of you guys are artists as well. So this is all constructed of triangles to get this forward motion out of it, and that is consistent throughout the entire design. And I'll just kind of draw them out so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is that upward triangle, even his head. So is the neck. So is this. So see how all the triangles, they're all pointing in, oh, that's not a triangle. What? They're all pointing in this direction, and even from the front, it has these shapes. I mean, the whole thing is a triangle even. Triangles everywhere. Anyway, it wasn't like super intentional to that extent. Like, I'm not super fussed with it. Like, these aren't triangles, but it really does help relying on basic shapes to drive the entire design. But this is my first for fun model I've made, and I don't know how long. Like, everything's fun for me. That's why I don't worry about it. But it's actually no one's paying for it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Zaxxon says, I almost said Lantaris, how do you choose headphone colors? It is just like a, why did I close it? I can pick any color, but let me drag it onto that screen. Why aren't you dragging? Here we go. This is what I pick. So I just make sure this is all selected, and then I just pick. But you could tell me a number, it looks like. Am I orange now? I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to red right now. And I do have the little base in front of me that you guys can't see. I actually want that to be blue. But eventually I can get them to cycle and that kind of stuff. Dave said that's one elegant mythic beast. Thank you. Alright. This has been fun. I'm doing a whole lot of talking. Not a whole lot of modeling, but I don't mind. It's super fun. Alright. And then, let's see. How am I going to say your name? Ko. It's like Ko and KH. I'm going to go like Ko. It says, didn't know this feature in ZBrush. Looks really cool. It is. It was added recently in ZBrush 2021. Alright, so I can go about this different ways. I can grab a move brush and push this back. But if I do that, I might just cause the same problem on the other side. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to select this trim, go to move, and backface mask. So now I can just pull this trim. The trim? Oh my lord, ZBrush, you're mocking me. Pull the trim a little bit and make that thicker instead. It might get a little like pixelated, so I have to be careful about that. There we go. Just small details like that that really make the model look better. This model is pretty much done. I had a really weird like hiccup with Transpose Master, which is the way that I pose my models now. And it had a matched vertex point. So it only posed like half of the model. It was really weird. I'm thinking it's because I accidentally deleted something. I'm going to try and replicate the error when I pose him in a chair because I want to see if I was right. Alright, and then for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some hand sculpted fabric creases because this looks really good, but I still want a little bit more going on right here. I'm going to change the color just to like a kind of like a pale tan. It looks gross, but it's a lot easier for me to see shape. So I have standard brush on, stroke, lazy mouse, put it to like 30. It's kind of like my number. And then I look at it. So there would be a swoop right here. As far as like how I know how to do fabric creases and what direction they go, there's a lot of trial and error. And honestly, there's a element of randomness to fabric folds, so just never take it too seriously, I guess. Oh yeah, and I have dynamic on, so it's not really doing a great job. Dynamic thickness is great for showing dynamic thickness, but if you sculpt details on it, it doesn't work super good. Like, see how it just did it. There was like a weird pixelated line that showed up. You can kind of see it right here. Anyway, I'm just gonna click apply. There we go. Now it's like real geometry. I'm sure that sounds like nonsense. Just trust me, it wasn't really there. So now I'm doing these strokes, they're a lot stronger. Okay. That looks alright. It's a little pixelated as well, just because there's not a ton of polys there and they were stretched out. So I'm going to divide it one more time so it just looks a little smoother. And then I'm going to see if that was enough. Probably not. Yeah, not on the vertical. And then I'll Dynamesh it. So this was the before and this is the after. Now it's a lot more dense, so I have a lot more to work with. So I'm just kind of mimicking these pipe folds that are right here, but not too strong. I really like the ones that were done by simulation, and I'm not sure if I could sculpt them quite that clean. So I just want to have the impression. There we go. That's pretty fancy. Look at the chat really quick. Trying to see where I missed. There we go. Dave said, in Europe, there's been a king or noble exactly like this guy. Yeah, I actually used all European monarchs as reference for this. Let's see. Headphone says, have you had any time to look at Maya LT? So on Discord, you said you had the demo downloaded. I did, and I had a video going, a tutorial while I was working on this model, actually. And I don't think it's going to be for me. Like, it has, like, this quick rig, auto rig, and, like, the tutorials I saw are putting it in Mixamo, which I've used before, so I'm like, it's not an auto rig if you have to like manually place everything. I'm like, this is stupid. So I'm probably gonna keep using ZBrush, but I am gonna give it a chance still. Sometimes people just do really bad tutorials, honestly, even if it's a good software. All right. All right, and Zaxxus is asking for Periwinkle, and he has the color. I'm going to copy and paste, even though it's a pretty easy one. And let's see if it will recognize it. Oh, let me select this first. There we go. I'm not sure how well it'll show up, but it is there. Oh, it does show up pretty good. That's actually really cute. I'm like admiring my own color. I like it. Thank you. Good pick. Clute says, I always find diagonals work nicely with draping folds. Very. Alright. I like these two folds. I don't like that one very much, so I just smoothed it away. Sometimes less is more, and with this one, it's a very thick material, so I don't want to add, like, here, I'll show you. If I add a bunch of, like, tiny folds, it's going to make this look really, like, mixed messages. I go with damn standard just to kind of emphasize some of these. Put this on solo really quick. So what I'm doing right here is literally just like so paint will catch on these. Alright, let's get that color back. And go through with damp standard as well to clean up any edges. And then this right here needs a little help. Just to do move and back face mask. That's just the end of the brush. That's why that happened. I'm pretty sure there's a way to prevent that. I just haven't done so yet. There we go. Very nice. Ooh, is it coffee time? So Ricky is here and he is well. I mentioned that the shower looks like I killed someone and they said they hadn't seen you in a while.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Look at your hair. I told them we took a nap.
What?
Come here. To make sure you're visible. There he is.
Is it that bad?
I mean, it's a little bit, but they can't tell us much on here.
I'll do that. There we go.
That looks alright. Anyway, so Ricky is live and well. Some more comments about fabric, and then Dave talking about Maya, about advanced skeleton. Very cool. I also don't want to get attached to Maya just because it's so expensive. Like, alright, he kind of has an unsightly line right here. I mean, he's not super handsome in the first place, but I think that looks good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have everything visible, and I'm going to just pick a light color so I can kind of just look at the forms from a distance. Really happy with the back of this. I'm going to put transparency on to see how this sits on the body, because it is getting pretty far away from him right here. I don't mind though, just because I think the silhouette looks nice. But I am going to... What is going on? Make sure I add the red back to this. I'm going to merge these two down the cape so I can just kind of make my adjustments. Turning off back face mask, and then now I'm going to kind of turn up the intensity a bunch and then just kind of pull it down here. Not a ton, because again, I like the silhouette. Just a bit. Just a smidge. That looks nice. Yeah, it looks better. Kind of doing it before and then redoing it to see it come together. That's nice. Alright, now I'm going to look at his hands really quick here. I'm just going to inflate them because he is a chubby guy. Oops, let's get his color back. I also don't have to support these when I print them because that would be unnecessary, I think. So now I'm just using the move brush and I'm really carefully moving the fingertips over. Also move his belly out a little bit. Yeah, not my cutest model, guys. He was really fun to make, though. After this, I'm going to work on a dwarf brewer. That's assuming I finished the seated pose version of him. Hands don't look super cute up close, but that's fine. I just don't want them to be really hard to print because I don't like having to pre-support each finger, which I do more often than not. Just chubby fingers. Oops. ZBrush wasn't sure if I was clicking or not. I don't know how much I want this to click. Not that. There we go. I think I'll have his thumb show a little bit. His nail's being really weird, so I'll probably just delete that. go. Just remove the nail because it's being weird. Alright, and then tuck the thumb back a little bit. That's better. And then I'll go to Del Hidden, because that nail is hidden. There we go. Let's zoom in on his face and exaggerate some of this a little bit, because he's very soft, but to the point where it might not show up great on the print. That's super good. My coffee is pretty much 90% creamer, so I don't even call it coffee, but it's very nice. All right. Ricky lives to see another day. Yes. How do we know it's not an imposter Ricky in a mask? I don't know. You know what's funny? He's actually going on a trip for the next week. It's why I'm doing these live streams mostly. I mean, it's been a while too, but also because I don't want to have only talked to my dog and my bird for the next 7 days. So I figured it'd be good to do live streams every day. So it's like, aha, talking to people. So that's the last time you're going to see him for a while. It was Old Man Jenkins all along. Dave has some more cool commentary about Maya and then Dwarf Brewer. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, he has definitely sampled many of his wares. All right. The crown fits on him a little awkwardly. I'm going to make this red. But I didn't give him any hair, so you know what? The crown's fine. I don't think that's worth my time to really adjust. But I do think the wrinkles on his face are worth my time. Let's see. Let me get Lazy Radius on here. There we go. Much nicer stroke. So this isn't about adding age, actually. This is mostly about emphasizing the features I already have here to make sure they show up well on a print. So I'm using Alt and Dam Standard on his to bring his eyelids out, and I'll crease them. I like doing this without symmetry. It was really fun for me to sculpt like a different body type too. Everyone I sculpt is pretty conventionally attractive. Or just for American standards anyway. Very thin. He's not so thin. He could probably stand to lose a little bit of weight, but this is actually a lot of fun for me to make. I'm just debating how much I want to bring his lips out, because they're really not, like, supposed to be defined on him. But I can define his bottom lip a little bit. Slightly define the Cupid's bow. I don't like that. It's all crooked. I'll just define the corners of his mouth a little bit more. They're slight adjustments, but they really pay off. Overall, I don't want his face to look too wrinkly or have seen that much wear and tear, because this man, I don't imagine him to be like an active monarch, more like a figurehead. There we go. Sarah says, yeah, I'd like to have a dwarf brewer as a worker for the dragon brewer mini I'm getting. Ooh, that sounds fun. All right. I Discord open. I heard it dinging. It was distracting me. This noble reminds me a bit of the Djinn in The Witcher 3. The Djinn? I mean, I could see the Bloody Baron, but I don't know about maybe the Djinn is not coming to mind. The one that with the DLC? Because he's not He's not fat. He is all powerful though. What was his name? I can't remember his name. He just Master of Mirrors or whatever. Alright. I think this guy is pretty much good to go. I could go through and complicate the poly paint a little bit. But overall, with the shapes of this, I'm pretty happy with it. I always just like playing with fabric, but I know the amount of time it's going to take me to get this like perfect, or what I'm really happy with, is going to take me forever. I've been working a lot more efficiently recently, to where I'm like time versus payoff kind of thing. Sometimes I like going through with a move and back face mask at the very, very end and just kind of like pulling on shapes and seeing like where that takes me and what I like with that. More than anything, I just think it's fun. Like, I kind of like how that looks, honestly. Gonna make his ears a little bit thicker from the back. That's just kind of a 3D printing trick. Otherwise, our ears don't always print. I also don't want to have to support his chin, so I might as well make it even larger. There we go. There is no chin to support there, and it just rounds right up. So fancy. I'm gonna tuck this a little closer to his neck. There we go. Very nice. Looks like there was a few spots on the trim at the bottom I missed here, so I'm gonna clean that up too. Okay, I have Lazy Mouse turned on, so let me reduce that. There we go. I'm mostly worried about the outside. Because like on the inside I know it's not perfect either, but that's fine. Alright. Fancy man. Let's see if I can get a good render on this. I use Keyshot now, so this won't even be the final, but I can still do something. That's not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. The shadows in here are a little harsh, so what I can do is I can increase the angle and they'll bounce around more. You can also increase the blur, but it tends to ruin the color, I've noticed. Oh goodness, that's not what I wanted. Let's just try it again. Alright, I'll live with it. Zax has to go for a bit, no worry. He basically said Gaunter O'Dim. Yes, that would be his name. Yeah, Gaunter is not a name I would remember. Alright. Pretty happy with this. This came out nice. Think about how I want to pose this. It looks like I don't have the copy of him unposed because I had that little issue with Transpose Master. So this might be a little more difficult to pose. I can figure it out. He won't have the cape, so I'll make it easier. Yeah, aka God. Yeah, Gaunter was super overpowered. Not overpowered, he's just all powerful. It's very cool. I actually didn't play through the DLC myself, but I pretty much saw all of it because I was watching Ricky play it. I have a jumping spider on this wall. It's like scaring me to death. I if jumping spiders hang out by like, I have this large glass sliding door in front of me. I don't mind if spiders hang out right there because they eat bugs and we coexist and it's fine. But they still scare me to death and they move so fast. We had one in our kitchen, not our kitchen. I don't know what to call it. We have a really long living room that goes against another wall with a bunch of windows. And I named that one Pont. And that jumping spider was my friend, and I was fine. But then Pont died, and now every jumping spider I see scares me again. I thought it'd work, but it didn't. So if you keep seeing me looking at, that's what I'm looking at. Anyway, Sarah, kill it with fire. They're good, though. They really... we don't have any bugs. I know, we have spiders. We have like 3 jumping spiders. 1 in here, and then 2 in the other room, which is fine, because again, they're only next to the windows, and they never go any farther. If they go any farther, it's just because it's like the heat of the day, and the window's like 100 degrees, and I'm like, I understand. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save this. And I'll save another one. And let's see if I have the throne conveniently available. It'd be under items, I think. I used it recently. Why wouldn't I have saved it? Here, let me just go check out the queen instead. I know she'll have it. Here we go. She's looking wonderful. All right. Putting a render on this as well. Like, ooh. Okay. And this has been decimated already. Looks great. I will just take this. I'll put it where it was supposed to be. There we go. Oh yeah, I do want to reference like how she fits in. Okay, the top of her head is like the top of the chair. Note to self. I'm really not sure how I'm supposed to pose him because he's already posed. Yeah, this is what happened with Z Transpose Master. If I try and like put this back, not this, it gets all messed up. It's really weird. Alright, tool, import, assets. And where is throne? Under items. There we go. It's actually about the right size already. Turning. Oh, it's because I have transpose on, so it's trying to simulate this like it's a fabric. There we go. I was wondering why that's being weird. Okay. How do I want to do this? Because he looks kind of dumb without the cape. She looks fine without it. He needs it. So I might have to figure out how to put this on. But I can worry about that later. This is going to be... I might not do this on camera because it might suck. We'll see. Alright. If I can just grab an earlier version of him, maybe. Before he was posed. I might have to do that. Because the way the hand's laying on his belly, it's going to make it really difficult. So this cape obviously isn't the same, which is fine. It's a little bit brighter for y'all. And I'm not worried about the unevenness of the shirt and stuff. Because again, it's just going to get covered. I'm confused. Oh, it's the wrong brush. I was like, why isn't this coming up? Come on. So my inflate and my damn standard are like locked together. I don't know what's up with that. Let me just reset my brushes. Maybe that will... Whenever there's new versions of ZBrush, there's just like these perpetual like new glitches. There we go. That was weird. That's okay though. It wasn't a big deal. Just smooth this down really quick. It's really easy to fix, just because these are different subtools. Doop. There we go. Good enough. Alrighty. So now I'm gonna look through everything. It's a separate piece. That shouldn't be. Merge the cuffs onto his shirt. Same with the belt and his shorts. Looks like this has something hidden. There we go. That might have been the issue I have with Transpose Master. Having hidden things gets it really confused. Okay, this looks good overall. I'm gonna click through all of these, and oh yeah, his feet were hidden. So they fit. I made him like really small feet. So that's why Transpose Master completely messed up. If only I'd known that earlier. Oh, Pont, go away. Calling this one Pont to not be afraid of it. Anyone knew there's a jumping spider in my room. That scares me. It's because I have a light next to me, so it's not so dark. You guys can see me. And it's all warm. Anyway. Yeah. Luckily, I know the bugs are usually a lot more afraid of you. You know, they want to live, so I try to leave them alone. I do have exceptions, though. Like, I'll never coexist with a cockroach, like, ever. Pretty much anything but spiders. It's funny because I'm most afraid of spiders, though. But, like, they do something. They have a purpose. They eat other bugs, and I'm like, I can get behind that. So, I'm having a conflict here because I don't want his feet to be showing, but I don't want to lose my subdivision levels. So, I'll probably just have it showing, but just kind of like carve them away. That seems like a win-win. There we go. That works. I'm going to go through all my subtools and make sure everything is visible so I don't have the same problem I had last time. And I'm going to import the throne. Not quite the same color palette, but it's fine. Alright, just gonna kind of roughly gauge the size I need. It's gonna be a big chair. I think that's good. Okay, I will go ahead and save this. I'll worry about exporting the cape to this later. And then we'll go to Transpose Master. Except this time it's going to work. Usually it does. That was really weird. That didn't for me last time. But now I know I had a bunch of stuff hidden, and go figure, I got confused. Yeah, without the cape, looks like he's wearing PJs, sort of. Yeah, I completely agree. A lot of the references that I found kind of looked like that, actually. This is actually a little more form-fitting than a lot of the ones that I found, which I thought was funny, because, like, the queen's, like, in this really tight corset, and then the king is, like, just straight up in PJs. I thought they wore, like, doublets and stuff. I don't know. He looks very comfy. Hephaestus says, that's because monarchies came in existence, so the ruling elite could avoid wearing anything besides PJs. All right. Turn perspective off, get my mask lasso, and just bend him at the waist here. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, blur the mask. And then change it to transpose line. It does a better job at bending. I'll do it this way. So that's happening because his body is lower poly. So I'll just mask that again right there. So essentially when I blur the mask, it causes it to blur too much right there. Where is my music? I hate that it pauses videos now. Like, are you still watching? And I'm like, why do you care? Just play. So he's gonna sit like this pretty much, just like a proper right ankle. This is so awkward. And then that belly has got to go somewhere. I'm having way too much fun with this. Excellent. Yeah, without the throne, it especially has like no context. Alright, size-wise, that's actually just about right. And he looks like a child when he's sitting right now. Okay. It's gonna be especially funny because I don't think his feet are gonna touch the ground. I made the queen look so like regal and impressive, and then there's him. Alright, I'm gonna distort his legs so they're a little bit longer. Some camera magic. He's got like these really small looking chicken legs too. I gave this man no muscle mass. I might make the legs of the throne for this a little bit shorter, because I do want his feet on the ground. Like, it's funny, but like I don't want him to look that childish. Goodness, he looks silly. So a lot of the distortion on his front legs right here is because he has those leggings on. So that's going to make this look a little bit weird while I'm posing, but I can worry about that and clean that up in post. Oops. I mean, yeah, I'm not too worried about any deformation up here either because I will be covering this with a cape. Mainly because he really needs it. His clothes are not super cute. Oh, I forgot how... Oops. Because the arms of the chair aren't super tall. With the queen it worked, but he's so fat that it doesn't work as well. He's far shorter than his grandfather, who this throne was made for. I need to add that as a caption when I release this. That is top content quality comedy. Oh, he just looks so tiny. I need to fix this. Like, I like it, and I don't at the same time. So let me shrink this a bit. This is much funnier to me, but this is going to make my life so much easier. Trying to see where the back of that seat is. Changing my masking brush. Let's see. So I need to shorten these legs up. Why is it doing that? Just want to mask this. There we go. That's better. Yep, I need this to be taller. This king is giving me issues. There we go. Just to fit him a little bit better. I'm not going to change it much more than that, though. Past that, I'll just need to manipulate the model. Looking pretty good, though. Gonna see what to do about his arms. I don't mind if they're just resting right here and nowhere else. That's fine. I can kind of curl his fingers around. There's a spot in his hand that's masked. I'm trying to fix it, but I don't think it's going to end up being an issue. There we go. Much better. And that'll probably just extend the throne arms forward a little bit. Ooh, that was a bit of an oversight, but I can clean that up later. Honestly, I could lean into it too. There we go. And now let's bring that forward a little bit, see how that will look. It's not seamless because this is already decimated. I didn't think I'd have to change the chair. But he's just so lumpy and stubby that, like, the queen fit much better in the chair. That's okay. I will work this out. we go. That's not so bad. Looks like they grabbed onto like his pant leg or something. It's because the symmetry isn't quite right in this. What I'll most likely end up doing is taking the chair and then mirroring it across the x-axis. So any of these adjustments that aren't quite symmetrical will end up being symmetrical. Alright, and then what I can do now is I can just make his arms a little bit shorter and raise them up. So it'll be like a natural shortening. I'm going to change my mask tool. I'm going to zoom in right here to make sure I get his hand. There we go. There we go. That actually really worked out. If not, I still had more plans. I always have 100 backup plans. This shoulder area has really gotten like messed up. But again, I just am banking on the fact I'm going to cover up with the cape anyway. So. I'll still smooth it out just for my own sanity. Alright, so the hand still needs some fine tweaking. Overall looking pretty good. I'm going to do my last asymmetrical detail, which is just tilting his head, and then I'll go back into all my separate subtools, because after that I don't really need Transpose Master on. It's not really doing anything for me. Oops, where is my transpose line? There we go. Kind of hard. I wish I could center that in his head, but I can't. That's alright. I can just adjust it. There we go. He looks very unpleasant. With perspective turned on, it looks especially good. That really dramatic one. His foot's a little misshapen. That's okay. I didn't fuss much with the boots. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and save this as a backup file, because occasionally this gets weird. And hopefully this won't do what happened last time, and it will just work when I do Transpose Master. We'll see. Sarah says, comments include spends all the taxes on feast. Definitely. Peasants and Sirs Quarterly gave him a 2 out of 10. That's a roller. Peasants and Sirs Quarterly. That's great. That's so funny. Oh, goodness. I need to keep reading up. This is super funny. He looks like a king who would have some empty tankards scattered around his throne. The queen does all the work. Shocked his court when he ordered the legs of the royal throne shortened to better fit him, as King Albert was literally half the man his father and grandfather had been. Sarah, you're killing me. Oh my god, it's so funny. Please, Sarah, we need continuity. Albert's a good name, too. Alfred is also great. He's King Alfred Albert Winfred. Wow, that was hard to say. Wonderful. Oh, you guys are killing me. It says all forests of the King's Forest. Oh my god. You guys are my favorites. I don't know who else is tuned in the live stream right now, but you are missing some comedy gold if you're not reading the live chat. Or at the very least, listening to me laugh through it as I read it out loud. This is taking a very long time. I'm nervous. Oh, is it gonna work? Please work. Oh, that's a look. That's scary. No, it's doing the thing that it did, but it didn't matter. Okay, cool. So there's one thing that didn't pose, it said. I don't know what it was. I guess the chair, huh? Okay, that's fine. Cool. Because last time it was like the entire model. It was like, just vertex doesn't match and then doesn't pose it. And I'm like, okay, you couldn't tell me that while I was working on it. So all the sculpting I did on the freaking chair didn't happen, which is fine, because honestly I was doing a really bad job. So what I'll do now is I will make the chair actually symmetrical. This actually worked out. Here we go. I'll unify this. Mirror and weld. There we go. So I actually got really close to symmetry just by looking at it. Huh, I didn't know that back this wasn't symmetrical. That's gonna drive me nuts on the other one, but it's fine. Only you guys know now. Don't tell anyone. Alright. This is actually gonna be... This worked out really well. Can now fix the throne a lot easier. Okay, I need to keep symmetry on though. Otherwise, it kills the point, Mia. Let's see. Before I forget, I'm actually going to open up an email draft and copy and paste your guys' comments really quick, because when I release this on Kickstarter, I know there's a lot of people that actually read everything that I write, and I think they would really, really enjoy this. I'm gonna start from when... My favorite line. Literally half the man. That was so good. The trees one was really good too. If he spent as much time building up the country as he did eating, would be a world power. I need to make him even fatter. I need to make all this true. I tried to copy and paste this, but of course it just pasted a black block. So let me snip this. This is quality content, guys. And having these as the caption I think would be really cute. Awesome. Thank you guys for being just absolutely delightful. Okay. So this chair is actually fitting him okay right now. The main issue is this little like swoop back, which looked good initially. Doesn't fit him super well. It's also weird that his arms are completely straight. I don't know what I was thinking there. There we go. I just have to make this red and consistent at the very, very, very least. Come on, ZBrush. I'm giving it a heart attack. There we go. It's a bit better. Gosh, he's just so pale. Let's bring that belly out a little bit more, shall we? Okay, the throne definitely is still a little too tall for him. Just a small adjustment there. see if this will work. Yeah, that didn't do too bad actually, and I can just fix that little front area. It's such a pain because, again, it's decimated, so there's only like 2 polygons right here. So when I try to unmask it, it gets very confused. I could just Dynamesh it and fix it later, but that's even more work, I think. There we go. And then I can take this and just pull it straight down. Yes, this is cleaning up much, much more nicely than what I was doing when I was posing it. I guess I'm just trying to see what I need to change with the throne. And then I'll go through here and make sure that these are as straight as I can do. For hard surface thing, those little adjustments really matter. That's good enough. It's a little bit of clipping with his fingers, but it's not too bad, and plus I'm going to make them a bit pudgier. That's something. Yeah, I've just poly painted his legs. He doesn't actually have leggings on, so I'm sorry for this. I didn't expect it to be seen. Why are you not changing to the right masking brush? I don't want to see this. Ah. There we go. So bring those fingers in a little bit. So his feet are a little uneven. No biggie. There we go. Now they match a little bit more. Alright, this is actually turning out really good. I just need to put that cape on him. I might just shorten it and make it like a small top cape, so it won't be coming down right here as well. I just need to have something there. You know, this cape wasn't very hard to make. I could just make it. It wouldn't have the same thickness on the trim though, because I don't know what I set that to, is the only issue. Yeah, I'll just take this and see where that gets me. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Oops, I want that with poly paint. There we go. You guys are cracking me up. King Alfred Albert Winfred. I need to write that one down. No, it's already in the screenshot. Cool. Because now he has a name. That is a wonderful name. Since this took a lot longer than I expected, I might do the dwarf tomorrow. Because it's already been an hour. There it goes. Oh, it's computing still. Here we go. Alright, I now have that back, which is definitely not going to fit him, but I will work with that. I really just wanted this top part. That worked really well. Just did a mirror and weld to bring it down and worked a lot better than I hoped. Now I can work on it in symmetry. Let's bring it in quite a lot. Kind of hides his belly, which I think is funny. And without perspective turned on, let's see if I can just like tuck this. I don't think it's going to want to, but that'd be really cool if I could just like fold this under. So it looks like I don't have enough polygons to do this, so let me just Dynamesh this really quick. I'm just zooming in to make sure I don't ruin it. That's ruined. That's a little better, about 1700. That is a lot of polygons. Let's see. Let's do this instead. I'll make a copy of this. I'll Dynamesh one, and I'll reconstruct subdivision levels so that when I bend this, it does a better job. Oh, this won't work though if, we'll see. Okay, that did an okay job actually. Neat. So I plan to take this and then reproject the details back onto it, but it is having a hard time with the trim, and I'm worried it's going to just turn into a mess when I try and project it back. But we're going to find out. Yeah, that's not really doing a great job anyway. So, let's do this instead. Just playing with the poly count, whether it's Dynamesh or not, because I don't think it was before, so that's why it was destroying that trim. That's much better. Is that my dog or is that just a dog? Kind of sounds like my dog. And I just make sure they're both showing. Select the original. And then go to project. Put this to about 0.1. And we'll see how this does. I'm optimistic. Looks like it did a good job. Happy with that. So now when I go to the slowest resolution, this should be a lot easier to pose. Alright, so my first issue is that it's just too wide. So I'm going to blur this and then just kind of shrink this in, see how that does. I'll shrink it in a lot and then move this out. That looks good. I'm a little worried about the trim, but I can deal with that later. And I could honestly probably just like cut this off rather than try and go through the trouble of this, but I would like to have some of the cape show at the bottom. Just for like continuity's sake, if nothing else. It's still too wide. It's kind of a recurring theme with this model. I think it's fitting because I don't have her cape on because she wouldn't sit on her cape because she's more like actual royalty, and then we have him who doesn't care. The way he's weirdly grabbing like the edge of the throne, I actually really like. It looks very awkward, but I stuck with it, and I'm glad I did. Alright, and I'm really hoping the trim doesn't look ridiculous when I... Cool, it actually does look okay. I was really worried about that. The way it kind of bubbles up around his arms, I do like. What I don't like is that it gets really thin right here, so I will go to back face mask and thicken this up. Making sure this makes sense. Fixing some of the folds. Looking quite good. All right, that fits pretty well too. Yay. Back with perspective. Go trim dynamic to clean up some of these folds a little bit more because this one doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, actually, that one's okay. It's just because it's so symmetrical, so... All right, it's coming along nicely. The only spot that doesn't make a ton of sense is the way these shorts clip into the throne, but it is a little unavoidable in some spots. All right, he looks very fancy. But not very elegant. Maniac says, I hate reprojecting. Yeah, I hated it too until I got a computer that was strong enough to actually run it. If you're having a lot of issues of like the glitchiness that happens, just store a morph target before, and then you can go through with a morph brush and undo anything that gets really dumb on, because boy does it sometimes. Yeah, he looks pretty good. I forgot about his face, so he has some weird stuff going on here, like his chin is not looking great. It just needs to be a bit rounder. Has like this weird like concavity to it right now. I'm trying to fix it. There we go. That's a bit better. Because it shouldn't be that lumpy. I can also just bring up this collar to hide it. Which I think adds to this very pampered, has never had a hard day in his life sort of look. Not a handsome man. That's okay. All right, and then I'll need to redo these because I'm not using the exact same mesh that I used for the other one. Since this has the throne, there's a lot more going on. I'm not too worried about the face being as detailed. There we go. That's probably about all I'm going to do. Oh, and darker eyebrows. I don't know why they're so light on this version. There's his scary no clothes version. Looks like I can't because they're not their own poly group, which is fine. Let's do a solid black background for the drama. And see how this looks. Yeah, that's very nice. And again, this is a lot puffier. I almost like changed the fabric type between this and the last model, but it's fine. I'm glad I actually went through the trouble of making the cape touch like the bottom and not just be like a little poncho. I think it paid off for sure. Even if I didn't originally think it was worth the effort. Kit, why does he have pretzels in his hat? For eating later. They totally do look like pretzels. I think they're very cute. I guess not totally in some spots, but like overall I can totally see the pretzel. Because he's a very hungry king. I'm really happy with the throne too. I didn't check the back of this, it's might have gotten a little weird. Sweet. There's no distortions for me to fix on this. Alright. Happy to see him finished. Go ahead and save this. Where do I have this right now? There we go. So tomorrow I'll work on the Dwarf Brewer because I'm tired. Yeah, it's been an hour and a half, so I'm probably not going to work too much longer. But I'll hang out for a bit if you guys have any questions about just sculpting in general. I'm taking a break. No, let me get a render back on here. Kit, tights and heels, the plights of royalty, right? My goodness, the references I found for this, I thought were a joke. I thought there was no freaking way. But no, like, all the references I used for this were all European monarchies, and they really look like this. Let's see if I can find some of the references that I used. I have a little collage that's on Google Drive. And this shouldn't get me a copyright strike like it does in other live streams, because this is like historical photos. Here we go. This is like the main reference that I used. Make this smaller. This one's a lot more fancy. I thought about making him like a handsome king that actually represented his people and was cool and stuff, but I made the queen really pretty, and I just didn't feel like making another, like, I don't get very many opportunities to make, I don't know, not conventionally attractive people, so I thought it was fun to make him a little pudgier and old and bald. But yeah, like, look at this. I can't remember who this was, but like, my goodness. That's where I got the little shorts and the tights, and that's where it came from. So this would look better if it had two capes like he did, but again, that was, I'm always looking at effort versus payoff, and I'm like, the amount of time and effort that would take. It's not about being lazy, it's about being obsessed with efficiency. Because I like finishing things, not spending a week on a model. Kit says, oh, I can understand why. The king should be taller than everyone else. So the average size, that only make him if you're taller. You know, I totally forgot about that. Like, heels were worn by men predominantly in the beginning. Totally forgot about that. That's true. Hephaestus says, are there any lessons for making armor or props like the throne and crown? No, there's not. There will be. It's just because I don't do it very conventionally, which is fine. I'm discovering it's fine. I use a lot of sculpting techniques, and honestly, just a lot of masking without perspective turned on. The crown I made using array mesh and tubes. So it was a lot of just like, it was very annoying. That wasn't great. But making the throne, I can actually talk about really quickly. Literally what I did was, is I just went in here to append I grabbed a cube. Let's make it a gold color, just so we're in the vibe here. I made it skinny, then I made it long, made sure symmetry was turned on, and then I would use mask a ton. So I would mask the edges, for example, invert, and then inflate. So now I have something that has some nice little edges on it. This didn't do a great job. Maybe don't inflate, just expand. But anyway, that's more or less what I did. I just made a bunch of pieces and then put them all together. As far as the really intricate pieces, that's actually a decoration brush. If you want to make pieces like this, the way you do that is by appending a plane, or how I would do it. Append a plane, mask out. Go ahead and tiny mesh this so I can have something. Go ahead and like go through this, make your design, clean it up, and then like extract it. That kind of thing. You can extract it right here. It's just being silly right now because it's confused, but you'd extract it through here. And then you can make these individual pieces they can use as a insert mesh brush. But I'm like, why go through all the effort if I can buy an entire pack for $10? For commercial use, I think I spent closer to $50. I really can't remember. But yeah. I will do more like proper lessons like that, but that was kind of like a walkthrough. It's really just a lot of masking and primitives. That's it. But not the Zealand modeler brush, which is weird. And I am trying to use it more. I'm really just using it more to control my topology and add like creases, and that's about it. But I'm getting to it. I'm slowly going to work with it more. All right. I think I am going to wrap up. Oh, cool, more questions. I'll just hang out because I'm feeling chatty right now. Maniac says, do you have any efficiency tips to finish models quickly? I can't remember if you are a patron or not, but if you are, I did make a lesson about working faster or improving them at the very, very least. That will help. As far as just working quickly, or efficiently, better said, it's really identifying what to spend less time on. Most people just say like practice makes perfect, and then like the more you do it, the faster you get. But I've noticed that isn't true. A lot of my students that have trouble with speed, it seems like the more they do the same like workflow, the slower they get because they find more things they want to improve. So just making the same thing a bunch of times doesn't necessarily make you faster. But it should help you identify what to remove. So for example, I had a student where they would block out things really quickly, but when they came to refining things, they would zoom in. I'm talking like, they'd zoom in like this. And they'd be like, I want this slightly ever so more curved. And then they'd do it to all of them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, no, it's not that no one cares. It's just that you're not making a big impact. So identify what isn't worth your time is the best thing I can say. If you're doing something really finicky, now if it actually looks bad and you really do need to fix it, I recommend just deleting it and restarting from scratch. A lot of artists get very attached to their work, and I understand, but most of the time it's actually faster to just restart from scratch. Honestly, this cape would have been a lot faster if I just recreated it rather than importing it and like distorting it. It ended up being fine because I could like guess how long it takes. It's like within a few minutes, so I thought it was fine. But yeah, just know when to move on. That's my biggest tip, honestly. People can say like, oh, like get a custom UI, get hotkeys, get new brushes, but it's really about knowing when to move on. If you're having trouble knowing what's making a big difference or not, look at your silhouette. So in this case, one second, I have some settings. There we go. In this case, I have my silhouette right here, and the silhouette is just the chair. The chair is really the main focus here, this gorgeous throne. So that's why I'm not like too worried about whether this goes like this or like this or like this. Like, it doesn't really affect the main model. I want to make sure that these lines are preserved so I can hide the chair. And I'm always just looking at like the silhouette. What's making a big impact? So I hope that helped a little bit. I know it's not super helpful because it's like, well, how do you know what to spend less time on? You can literally work through a model and look at a clock, and every 5 minutes you can be like, how much did I get done in 5 minutes? Did I obsess on like an eyebrow hair for 5 minutes? Probably should have moved on. Daxis says, am I back right before it's over? Yes, you are. But that's okay, because I'm live streaming all week. Yeah, this is a shorter live stream, just like an hour. Actually, no, it wasn't that short. It's almost 2 hours. But yeah, I'm very happy with him. I think that about wraps it up. I feel like my answer was all over the place to you, Maniac. My apologies. The info is there. It's just not well delivered because it's kind of a hard concept to pin down. I've been refining it to try and better communicate it to my own students. Ask me again in a week about I'll have a better answer. Hephaestus says, you're saying the best way to make progress isn't to buy more brushes on ArtStation? Please don't attack me like this. I feel it. I'm talking to myself too when I say that, honestly. I buy so much crap. It's just fun. It makes me dependent on them. I don't care. I care. Alright, guys. I'm gonna dip, and I'll hang out tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. So anyone else that's here, I'll be live streaming until Friday, every day at 5. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.